When buying land, does it make more sense to start small? We're talking with Pat Porter about what he's learned over the years with buying and selling land. A really great conversation. Hope you guys enjoy it. Here we go. This is something that I've seen. This is something I've learned. It's okay to start small because you will learn things on that small parcel that you would not repeat again on a larger piece. And obviously those mistakes, good and bad, or good fortune or bad fortune, is maximized on a larger parcel. So could you speak to that?
I'm sure that you go into a deal, it's your first piece of property, and especially if you're buying a tract, to develop it for recreational use, deer hunting, duck hunting, turkey hunting. You're going to go in with all these ideas and thoughts and plans, and once you get into it and start realizing that, yeah, I put in 14 food plots, that's great, but now I got to maintain 14 food plots, and now if I want to build food plots again, maybe I won't make them so big. I'm a bow hunter and I don't need a 14-acre wheat field as a food crop. I'm a food plot.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely live and learn, and I use that example from some of my own experience. I'm going, yeah, it was cool putting in all those food plots, but now I got to maintain them. So I'm not going to put in quite as many next time. I'll be a little more strategic, make them a little smaller, make them a little more irregular, so I have more edge.
Mm-hmm.
Deer hunters know what edge is. So yeah, you absolutely learn that. You learn how to operate a bulldozer because you put in your own food plots, or you built some trails around the property. You learn 1,000 things. My goodness, we could spend the rest of the day talking about that. And every time I bring something up, you'll think of something, and vice versa.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the most overthought things, because I'd be guilty of that too. It's like everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people probably have thought, man, it'd be cool to own this giant property. Like, do you have the know-how to manage a giant property? If you step up to it, you'll be way more efficient. It's just learning to walk before you run is how I think of it.
To your point there, as a new broker, and I remember this property from a number of years ago because it was a real marquee tract. It was a world-class deer hunting place in the right location, the right setup, everything right about it. It's about 2,200 odd acres. And I went in there, man, wide-eyed, and so excited to represent this property and all the stuff going on. And talking to the owner, it was a husband and wife, but she did all the bush hogging, and they had a big fat winged bush hog. And it took her 9 solid days,
oh my
daylight, all day, just to clip the food plots and the roads in the spring and summer. 9 days, she told me that. And I'm going, golly. And then they go back and plant, plant, fertilize, all the stuff they have to do. And it's a full-time job keeping up with just the recreational piece of 2,200 odd acre, or this particular 2,200 odd acre tract. So, yeah, you can have big eyes and, a big vision of things, but you got to maintain it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I did a video. I'm glad you said I did a video a long time ago. It was one of my little 2-minute or less videos, and it talked about maintaining recreational property. Sometimes less is more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. I think that's maybe some people don't put that in their cost analysis, and there's some, like, putting in new gravel when there's going to be a washout, or maybe there's some. It's no different than having to put a new roof on your house every now and then, and all these different things. Like there's things to maintain a property, and then maybe if you're able to buy a smaller parcel that has been neglected, well, you can go and enforce that appreciation. But there's more than just the payment, I guess, for the land, because you're going to want to buy food plot seed. You're probably going to want to buy a sprayer. Maybe you want to eventually buy a tractor. So that's just something to think when you have rose-colored glasses and looking at it, like, oh, I can do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. You've obviously swerved into that too. You're not tell a lot of stories based on that. Yeah, you get big eyes, and then reality sets in. You go, golly, not enough time in the day, or not enough money in the bank to do what I want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the other thing too. Most of these people are working folks. They have responsibilities, and maybe they can sneak away a couple weekends throughout the summer. And so if that's what you have time, then that's just time management, which is easier said than done sometimes.
It's a common scenario. Now that recently sold a really nice farm in South Arkansas, great duck hunting tract with a lot of deer potential. And the gentleman I sold it to, when he called to tell me he wanted to sell it 5 or 6 years later, we'd developed a relationship. I'd actually duck hunted on his property with him. I go, dude, why are you selling this? You love it so much. He goes, well, grandkids have gotten older. They don't come anymore. And now I'm having to, do this, maintain all this by myself. Well, that was his words. He lived 6 hours away. had a camp on the place, and it just suddenly all fell on his shoulders. And he goes, "Hey, I can't do this / don't want to do this without the help." So he put it on the market, and we sold it again for him. But he wanted to be there. He just needed help to do it. And his life had changed, and just didn't have that help.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing. It's just that's life just, evolves.
Yeah, that's a great point. Anything else here on small properties before we move into a different topic here?
Don't be afraid to pull the trigger. And I'm quoting a friend of mine from Alabama. He's always says that. Don't be afraid to pull the trigger. And a lot of people go, "Hey, yeah, well, you're in the business to sell stuff. Of course, you want everybody to buy." Yeah, but if you find what you want, you can afford it based on what we've already talked about. It's not a burden, and you're buying it right, meaning you're not overpaying for it. Pull the trigger. Small piece of property, not going to change your life. And if you find something better, or if life changes and you need to get out, you can get out if you follow those basic principles on the getting in part. We're not going to live on this planet forever. You find what you want, you can do it. It's all lining up. Just pull the trigger. You can always get out of it. You can always change. You can always buy something else later. Sounds simple, but it kind of is.
Yeah, don't make it more complicated than it has to be.
It's really not. It's easier than buying a car. I mean, go sit in a dealership and try to buy a car these days. Or come here and buy 22 acres. I promise you, my process will be easier.
Yeah, a lot more fun. A lot more fun for sure. Less nonsense. Hope you guys enjoyed this. My name is Jake Hofer, and I'm a real estate agent out of the state of Illinois. And it's my goal to help 100 people buy their first farm. Been doing that with the Land Podcast and clips like this every single Thursday and Saturday that are released here on the channel. And to be one of those 100 people, all you have to do is, if you're in the state of Illinois and I can help you, I'd be happy to do so. Number two, if you want to get connected with someone that can help you, reach out and I'll be happy to get you in contact with an agent that I would personally do business with. And the last one is, if you just simply learn something from the content we're putting out, or you get inspired to take action, I want to know, get you out of that spreadsheet. I'm on a mission to help 100 people. Until next time, see ya.